François Mackandal, the spirit that would not die. They say some names whisper in the wind, names you do not dare speak aloud when night falls, because they carry memories. Memories that make even the trees tremble. In the mountains of Haiti, where mist drifts like smoke between the leaves, there is such a name the colonists tried to bury for centuries, a name slaves spoke as a prayer, a name the Maroons carried like a weapon. Mackandal, not François Mackandal, not the slave Mackandal, not the man without an arm, but Mackandal, the immortal, the spirit of the forest, the poisoner, the shadow that moved through Saint-Domingue like a whisper of vengeance. This is his story, the boy who should never have lived. Imagine you are sitting with me in the heart of the forest. It is dark. Only the fire illuminates our faces. You hear crickets, leaves rustling, water trickling over stones, and somewhere, deep in the night, you can almost hear his footsteps. Long before the French feared him, Mackandal was nothing more than a boy ripped from a land he would never see again. African stories claim he was born into a royal or spiritual family, someone who knew words others were forbidden to speak. Thrown onto a slave ship, they tried to crush his dignity. But from the start, something in him refused to break. In Saint-Domingue, he was sold to a sugarcane plantation. Beneath the scorching sun, he worked day and night. But he observed. He listened. He learned. They saw a slave. He saw a battlefield. He moved differently. He looked differently. His eyes held an alertness that did not belong to a man in chains, and some whispered that he spoke to the plants, or that the plants spoke to him. The accident that began a war. One day, a scream tore through the sugar mill. Metal met flesh. Mackandal's arm was crushed. They said he was lucky to survive. But his life on the plantation was over. A one-armed slave could not work, could not cut, could not carry, but he could think, and that made him dangerous. He was given light tasks, told to maintain the paths around the manor. Because of this, he discovered secret corners of the estate, places no overseer checked, trails where dogs could not scent him. And one night, beneath a silver moon, Mackandal vanished. Some say a woman he loved helped him. Others say he hid his scent with dust and ash. No one knows for sure. But by sunrise, he was gone. The birth of a Maroon. In the mountains, he found the Maroons, escaped slaves living wild and free. At first, they saw a thin, injured man, but the fire in his eyes told them he was no ordinary fugitive. He was healed, he was welcomed, and then he became a leader. Why him? Because he possessed knowledge, dangerous knowledge. He knew plants that healed, plants that killed, plants that induced visions, plants that revealed truths. The French called it superstition. The Maroons called him priest, warrior, messenger of the ancestors. By the fire, he taught them, slavery is not a chain. It is a disease, and a disease can be cured. The war of poisons. Mackandal did not build a rebellion. He built an underground state, and it wielded 3 weapons: poison, espionage, fear. His poisons were infamous, silent, invisible, devastating. French plantation owners fell ill. Horses collapsed. Children coughed until their lips turned blue. Wells were poisoned. Food spoiled. But this was no mindless terror. Every attack was strategic. Every strike intentional. Every target chosen. He was not a poisoner. He was a general. The network. Slaves on plantations worked for him. Women in kitchens slipped herbs into pots. Children carried messages hidden in their hair. Drums beat coded rhythms through the night. Even some free people of color stayed silent, out of fear or admiration. Across the island, one name spread like a gale. Mackandal. Mackandal. The French spent fortunes trying to catch him, but they could not. Some said he transformed into a dog. Others swore he turned into a bird. Some believed he simply vanished into thin air. The answer was simpler. He knew the land better than they ever would. Panic among the colonists. Plantations became fortresses. The French slept with weapons. Every slave was suspect, every meal inspected, every well guarded. But the more fear they sowed, the stronger Mackandal became. A Maroon once said, "Every time a master shed blood, a new warrior rose in Mackandal's forest." The hour of betrayal. No war is perfect, no network flawless. Some say a slave betrayed him. Others say a woman broke under torture. Others claim the French set a trap too clever to escape. Whatever happened, Mackandal was captured under a blood-red moon. He was taken to Cap Français, chained, tortured, interrogated, but he revealed nothing. No one. The stake. January 20th, 1758. The square overflowed with people, colonists in the front, slaves forced to watch in the back. Mackandal was led to the stake, bruised, burned, one arm limp at his side. But his eyes, he looked like a man who already knew he had won. The flames rose, the colonists cheered, and then it happened. The ropes snapped or melted, or burned through, depending on who tells the story. But all agree on one thing. Mackandal fell from the flames. He stood, and he ran. Chaos erupted. Soldiers panicked. Masters screamed. Slaves trembled. Some say he survived. Some say he fled into the forest. Some swear he became smoke itself. French records insist he was recaptured instantly. But who do you believe? Those desperate to kill his legend, or those who swore they saw him roaming the forests for years, the spirit that sparked a revolution? 33 years later, 1791, the Haitian Revolution ignited. Thousands of slaves rose. Plantations burned. The greatest army of enslaved people in world history marched. And through the smoke, one name echoed like thunder. Mackandal. 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 He became the spirit of the revolution, the man who began what others completed, the prophet of the oppressed, the immortal shadow of the forest. The French tried to erase him, but you cannot kill a spirit. You cannot burn a legend. You cannot snuff out a spark that becomes a volcano. Mackandal won, not in life, but in all the centuries that followed. And if you ever walk the Haitian mountains, hear the wind rustle through the leaves, it might be that the spirit that would not die is still walking beside you,